Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of our national anthem?
Game time, NBA, slamming ops like MMA in the octagon. When I'm about to rhyme, I drop a young 8 like it's mama time. Then 8 more, that's a Paul Gasol, they gon' say, whoa, that boy's raw. Got a fast break straight to the hole, drop the last 8, that's 24, and there's plenty more where that came from. Better know the flow grade A1, and I'm ambidextrous, AI. They can plan to exit, they can't hide. I got hands in the fight like Mayweather. I know your mans, and I might think they better, but they ain't never. They featherweight, treble clever, heavyweight in every state, never delegate. My team the greatest from the NYC to Vegas. None of them in the game, I see the A-list, but none of them can't quite see me, they wish. I'm raising the bar, you players ain't raking and taking up space at the bar when we drinking. I'm calling the play, you balling the ball, we balling the day. We going all the way, we're taking off from here, watch us we go. Ain't no one blocking nor stopping, we know. We making every shot that we throw. Watch us we go, going all the way. You know we coming, going all the way. Up to something, going all the way. We ain't going all the way. You can't ignore it, going all of the way. My team got rings like
what's good, y'all? Welcome to the Overtime Sports Show. This is your boy James, aka Hollywood J Black, live in the building once again. And you know how we do it. I'm back live, back on Facebook. None of that BS. If anybody saw my video earlier, I explained exactly what went on. Apparently, after one of the Overtime Sports shows, when we did our NFL preview, somebody got a little mad, reported. Maybe I didn't like their team. I don't know what the hell it is, but I had to take a month hiatus on the lives. But guess what? We are back. We are in full effect. This is your boy, as you all know. Big Sin is working tonight, unfortunately. Apparently somebody did a boo-boo and tried to steal some copper from a power plant. And since he's the head of security for NV Energy, he has to be the one that kind of handles that. So hopefully Big Sin is doing his thing, but you got my pretty mug, right? So anyways, we're going to get right into it. Normally this is the show that we talk about what happened on Sunday in the NFL, and then we break down the picks and what we're going to do. He said, let's go Yankees. What's good, my dude? It's good? How you doing tonight, bro? We're going to talk about some baseball tonight. This is the first ever, actually, All the Way Wednesday. I promised we was going to bring back All the Way Wednesday. And that's in honor of my boy, Howard Trouble Cox, who does the intro for our All the Way Wednesday Overtime Sports shows. But we had to bring it back a little early. So we're going to have a full slate of stuff talking about the shit today. I know you're probably going to get bored with my ass. That's fine, too. And in case you can't stand my ugly mug, we're going to drop this on the podcast. But let's get right into it. NFL was ridiculous this weekend. Things went the way that we thought they were going to go, especially with that Dolphins-Patriots game. There was some stomping going on. A lot of bad shit. But let's get right into it. Let's get right into the fallout. Let me bring out I got to bring out my notes real quick. Oops. Something dropped. So, let's get right into it. Let's talk about this game. Patriots, Dolphins, dude. This shit was ridiculous, bro. Shit was crazy. Everybody knew coming into this game that the Dolphins were going to get stomped out. My boy Darren, he's my little bookie. I put the money into Vegas, you know what I'm saying? I slide him a little bit of cash. He makes sure my cash come back. The game was so guaranteed, the casinos were just like, nah, we ain't even taking this money no more. Even though the spread was like, I think it was like 18.5, 19.5, and 18.5, 19.5. That was easy money, considering that the Miami Dolphins are a JV team at this point. Yikes. You know, what am I supposed to do? You put the money in, make sure it come back. And that's exactly what the Patriots did. Antonio Brown showed up, bro. Antonio Brown showed up. He had 5 catches. He had a touchdown. Antonio Brown out there doing Antonio Brown things. I mean, it is what it is, right? But the bigger picture that we have to talk about is that this Patriots defense practically manhandled the Miami Dolphins, even worse than what Baltimore did. It was bad, but it was bad. It was bad. Tom Brady, he didn't look like perfect. He looked good, but he wasn't perfect. But I think they was really just trying to not like step on anybody's throat. You know, Bill Belichick probably wanted to give his former colleague a little lesson in humility. As you know, Brian Flores, the former defensive coordinator for the Patriots. Well, I can't even call him a coordinator because the nigga didn't coordinate shit. All he did was you called the plays. Bill Belichick called the play. He just made sure that the shit was ran. He was a gopher, right? Go for this play, go for that play. But probably just want to show him a little bit of respect. I think the Patriots could have dropped like 80 on him real easy. Dolphins is trash, bro. Dolphins is complete trash. It just is what it is. I mean, I'm embarrassed for him, to be dead honest with you. Like, that shit was just embarrassing. How dare you put that product? The niggas is out here worse than the damn Miami Marlins. I don't know if anybody watches baseball, well, at least watches Florida baseball outside of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, because they're like the only halfway decent team in Florida when it comes to baseball. But this shit was crazy. I don't know. But the Dolphins, they're tanking for the rest of the season. I don't agree with that tanking bullshit, but it is what it is. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm not the owner. I mean, if that's your squad, I'm sorry. If you're a Dolphins fan, it's gonna be a long ass fucking season, bro. You just sit back, relax, cheer for somebody else's team. It's probably the best thing to do. Just this year, just find you another team to cheer for. Dolphins might go 0-16. Actually, here's a funny thought. I was actually talking to at work with my homeboy. He's a Jets fan. He ain't doing any better, y'all. His quarterback got mono. How your quarterback got the kiss in the D's, bruh? What the hell's going on down there in MetLife Stadium? Your boys out there catching mono in the locker room and shit. Who the hell you kissing? Fuck all that shit. Nope, not I. But your boys, them niggas catching mono. You got Trevor Siemian tore up his fucking knee. I'm gonna get to that game in a sec, because that was just a Monday night game. But you got to look at this shit like, bruh, like, it's all bad. I'm actually thinking that the Jets and the Dolphins are so bad that they're going to go 0-14-2. That is my prediction for the rest of the year. I'm going to change what I had put on paper, 0-14-2. That is my prediction for the Jets and the Dolphins, because I really don't think they can really beat each other at football. I'm dead honest. I don't think that I don't think the Jets and the Dolphins can beat each other in football. Shit is just all bad. I really didn't even want to talk about this damn. I mean, I did want to talk about the game, but it was bad, bro. It was bad. The big surprise, though, was that Thursday night game, the last Thursday night between Tampa Bay and Carolina. Tampa Bay came to play. It looked like a legitimate Bruce Arians game. It looked real nice. If you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, you had to be looking up, especially after what happened when my Niners came through and stomped that ass on defense. I mean, we didn't do shit on offense that game, but we came in and broke some ass off on a fucking defense that day. But this performance by Tampa shows that Bruce Arians is going to have these boys in the right direction. This Tampa Bay defense is legit. They were legit in the game they played against us. We just happened to play a little bit better defense, but this is becoming a Bruce Arians team. And depending on your preference for it, Bruce Arians is a hell of a coach. You see what he did in Arizona. He turned them into Super Bowl contenders because they could have been easily in the Super Bowl had it not had Carson Palmer's not flew the coop or sucked the shit or whatever the hell these dudes did. But Carson Palmer in that NFC Championship game was trash. I don't know though. I mean, y'all ain't want to gossip. You ain't heard that from me. But I like this Tampa team. I like where Bruce Arians has them. But Cam Newton, bro. Cam Newton looked disheveled, bro. He looked like I don't know, man. He looked broken. You see that outfit. I posted it on my Facebook. If you go down, you look at the meme I posted where Cam Newton looked like a widow whose husband's died under mysterious circumstances. That was your boy's press conference outfit. Legit. That was his press conference outfit. And the dude just looked like like he done lost like 7 relatives, 3 homies from the hood, 2 ex-husbands, 7 wives and shit. I don't know what the fuck this dude did, man. But I promise you, if Carolina doesn't make the playoffs, and Carolina doesn't find this man any protection, I can just about guarantee you that Cam Newton is not going to be in Carolina next year. On my mama. I don't think that Carolina, I don't think Cam is going to be in Carolina this year if the ship keep going the way it is. This dude's out here dying. He ain't looking like the old Cam Newton. I can't even name a receiver in Carolina. Your boy Torrey Smith retired, so that was it. I don't even know a receiver. Can anybody tell me? No, okay, no. I don't. I told you I don't know a receiver in Carolina. I know who Christian McCaffrey is. I know a few cats on their defense. I sure as hell, I would have to really look at these stats, go against this recap, and tell you exactly who is who and what is what. Well, I'm sorry. There's Greg Olsen, one of the best tight ends in NFL history. Greg Olsen. Past that, I don't know. I don't know who Samuel is. I don't know who Moore is. The sad part about it is with Samuel, at least they threw the ball to this cat like 13 times, right? You only caught it 5. That's horrible. That's it. Cam Newton even threw for 333. They could not get the running game at all, but that's typical Tampa Bay stuff. Winston was accurate, didn't throw a pick. He was sacked a few times too. Barber was running the ball really, really well. Tampa looks legit. I like Tampa. Don't mind my lazy eye, y'all. Oh, wrong guy. Don't mind my lazy eye. So, real shit though. I like Tampa. I know I probably said that like 11 times. I like Tampa. If we got some games, we'll talk about the games on Friday. We got a show coming on Friday where we're gonna do our NFL picks. We're gonna talk about each game. It's gonna be a quick show, but for this particular instance, I think Tampa's looking real nice. They're really turning around. Aaron's gonna have them boys right. That was that Thursday night game. Let's get into what popped off on Sunday. And when we popped off on Sunday, we got to talk about that big thing, that San Francisco 49ers thing. I hope my Niners fans are watching this one. This shit was crazy. 41-17. Niners all day, every day. Shit was looking real good, real decent. Defense was on point. Offense was on point. We stopped everything that they tried to throw at the squad. Andy Dalton, he was all right. He threw for 311 yards, but he was sacked 4 times. We put him on his ass. But he went 26-42. There was no running game. Joe Mixon was non-existent for the Bengals. Jimmy Garoppolo, 17-25 for 296, 3 touchdowns and a pick. No sacks. That's the best part. No sacks. Matt Breida, 12 carries, 121. We had 2 running touchdowns from Wilson. It looked good. The only bad part about this game is that we lost Joe Staley for an extended amount of time. Joe Staley broke his, I think he said he broke his hip. Has a broken hip. And that's gonna really affect it because I don't know who's gonna watch Jimmy Garoppolo's ass. But if it's any testament to what happened with Atlanta, remember the year that they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots? It was under Kyle Shanahan's offense. Matt Ryan, he had a bunch of injuries on that offensive line. They were able to sub in, sub out, do their thing, and they still, cruise into the playoffs and cruise into the Super Bowl. So I'm not really too worried. But, if this is just a stress fracture, this could take anywhere from 6 weeks, or he could probably be out for the season. Talk about a hell of a thing. It's kind of that shit's wider than Utah sentencing guidelines. And I don't know if anybody knows anything about Utah sentencing guidelines, but if you get popped off in Utah, when you go to court, they tell you you're doing either a 1 to 10. Don't go to jail in Utah, people. It's just not a good look. I just try to stay out of there to be my damn self. My boy Brian, who does NHL shows, he keeps asking me to go. I'm like, I don't know about that. Not like I'll be doing no dirt or nothing, but you want to stay away from anywhere whose minimum sentence is 1 and whose maximum sentence is 10, and it's for the same crime. I just try to stay away from places like that. Bengals starting out 0-2. The crazy part about the Bengals, though, is that the Bengals don't. It's not that they played bad. It's just that they can't stop nobody. The worst part about it is that their coach, Marvin Lewis, was a defensive-minded coach. Their old coach. They got rid of Marvin Lewis. Now they don't play defense anymore. Who would have figured that one out? But 49ers win that one. I'm really happy that all the haters are like, oh, Jimmy G was a horrible pick, man. Why'd y'all get Jimmy G? He ain't pulling his weight. Well, I guess he is now, bitches. Sorry. Next game, Detroit versus the Chargers. I said when I watched this game, when I talked about this game a couple days ago, or last week, excuse me, I talked about this game, and I really liked Detroit in this game. I didn't like the Chargers because, yeah, you showed me what you can do without your boy Melvin Gordon III. However, I don't think it's going to be good enough against the Detroit Lions' defense. To understand exactly what happened, it's very simple. Phillip Rivers, all he could do was pass. Austin Ekeler got sort of shut down, but shut down enough to where he couldn't do shit. And basically, they bent, but they didn't break. That's exactly what happened in Detroit. Detroit bent a little bit, but they didn't break. They didn't let them score no touchdowns. They didn't have too many red zone opportunities. Matt Stafford played like shit. I ain't going to sit here and lie to you. Matt Stafford played like shit for Detroit. And this is a quarterback, and Matt Stafford, who used to set records. Like this dude, remember the 5,000-yard year where it was Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, and Stafford all passed for 5,000 yards? Those days are gone for Matt Stafford, bro. It is what it is. Kerryon Johnson ain't even running the ball effectively. He's averaging 3.3 yards a carry. That ain't shit. That ain't gonna get shit done. But that defense, that Detroit defense, your boy, the coach, Bill Belichick prodigy too. This man gonna grind out some games, and that's the type of shit that you need, especially in the division where. Well, actually, if you think about it, and since we're gonna get to the other games. Do you realize that the NFC North has 4 of the top 10 defenses in the NFL? That's something to think about. We'll get to that, though, in a little bit. But that's exactly what happened. Detroit came in. They were at home, stomped them out. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I know my boy John Whitby hopefully watched this show. He's probably happy that his Detroit Lions won. I know my girl Tanya is probably pissed off that her LA Chargers lost, but somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. It is what it is. And that's it. That's it for that one. Minnesota, Green Bay. Now that we're talking about the NFC North. Green Bay won 21-16. This is a game that I picked Minnesota to win, and I was sorely disappointed. It was bad. It was bad. Kirk Cousins went 14-32 as a quarterback. As a high-profile quarterback who's getting paid a boatload of money, more money than Tom Brady, who's a Super Bowl champion, you shouldn't be going 14-32 against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers did no better, by the way. So all you Green Bay fans out there, don't be like, oh, our quarterback's elite. No, Aaron Rodgers, yes, he scored 2 touchdowns, but he went 22-34 for 209. He also took a shitty-ass sack for like 12 yards when he shouldn't have even taken the damn sack to begin with. But it is what it is. We're not going to sit here and debate that shit. I'm actually happy that Green Bay has a running back. Apparently, Green Bay has also found a decent defense. What's good, Mr. Brian? How you doing, sir? I just finally looked over to my right-hand side. Oh, well, Mr. Brian, thank you for watching. And we're going to talk about the Beckham Browns. Like I said, if you missed the earlier part of the show, I said that if you're a Dolphins fan, this is the perfect time for you to find another team. Just cruise on in. And it's not even bandwagon. It's knowing that your team is trash and finding yourself a team that you can ride strap your bootstraps to and ride out till you can't no more. Take that horse to the Old Town Road. But that's neither here nor there. But back to the Vikings and the Packers. Dalvin Cook ran all over Green Bay. So Green Bay still has a problem stopping the run. Yeah, that problem still exists. But apparently so do the Minnesota Vikings. Can't stop the run. And so now you have two quarterbacks that played meh. It was ugly, I guess. It was in Green Bay, so a typical Green Bay game in the summer. I don't know. They ain't from repping Cleveland. They're the Beckham Browns. That's hilarious. Browns are good, though. Browns are good. And I told you my Browns are not my Browns, but the Browns are my pick to go in the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack. Oh, you a Patriots fan? No, I'm a realist. If Antonio Brown plays 16 games and the playoffs, the Patriots, you just hand them the fucking trophy and say, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 16-0 this year, especially after last season where the first time they lost 2 games back-to-back in November. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick put his foot down somebody's throat and did what he needed to do. So you can quote me on that shit. You can tell him I said 16-0. I wouldn't be surprised if they go 16-0. But those teams were out there robbing. Minnesota and Green Bay out there robbing their fans of what should have been an explosive game on the passing end. You had 2 elite quarterbacks, and I state that elite with the highest of sarcasm because I'm gonna tell you like it is, and you guys are gonna get mad, and I know that my homegirl is gonna get mad, but I do not believe that Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback. Sip on that tea for a little bit, and as I go on to the next again, Indianapolis and Tennessee. Tennessee, the Titans, who were the purveyors of that 43-something drubbing to the Cleveland Browns. Nope, the Pats are not dying. Hold on, I gotta frame this one. The Pats are not dying, bro. I know that's what y'all want. I know that's what y'all feel. The Pats aren't dying. Again, the Pats aren't dying. Do I gotta get real hood with you? The Pats aren't dying. They're not because ain't nobody. There's nobody in the AFC that's gonna beat them. There isn't. You can bring whoever you want. Kansas City has no defense. What a top team. Lamar Jackson, you see what the Patriots can do against quarterbacks who scramble. Shut it down. Who else? Who else is the king? Who's the king of the South? Well, we obviously see what happened with the Texans. The Texans aren't even the same squad no more. They wrap them up, call it a day. So who's left? Who's left out of everybody's teams? There's nobody left. Yeah, you're right. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback, but he is not this elite, great arm talent that everybody says. The greatest arm talent in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes. Hands down, there's not even a question. This is not even a debate, period. Patrick Mahomes is the single greatest arm talent in the history of the NFL. That man can throw passes that ain't nobody in now, back then, or in the future will ever be able to do. He is the single-handedly the greatest arm talent in the NFL. The problem is that he's on a Kansas City team that has no fucking defense that can't stop shit. It said, as an analyst, yes, the Pats are elite, but a dude who watches football, period. I know y'all tired of it, but I know y'all tired of it, but excuse me for the background, y'all. There's a little bit of noise in the background, but you can't. You have to stop these teams. You can't just sit there and rest on your laurels and be like, the Pats suck. Yeah, no, they don't actually. They're just mad because they always beat your teams, and that's fine. Let me explain something to you. I had to live through the days where we could not beat the Seattle Seahawks. You know, the last time we beat Seattle Seahawks before last year when our third string backup beat the Seattle Seahawks. You know the last time that happened? It happened in the Alex Smith era. That was the last time we beat the Seattle Seahawks. So trust me when I tell you, I know how you feel. that you see a team that's better and they're doing better and you want them to fucking lose. I get it, okay? The problem is that while you have your shit teams down here, you have your okay teams here, you have your elite teams here, and then Bill Belichick is over here making a left, taking this shit to the moon. I don't know what to tell you guys. But let's talk about Indianapolis and Tennessee. The Tennessee who just got done with this drubbing of the Browns dropped a stinker of a game. Hold on, where do you put that? Concussion-prone Steve Young in his last few years in the NFL is better than Aaron Rodgers in his 5 years. I say peak Steve Young was with Terrell Owens. That was that. I mean, as far as if we got to compare a baseline to, because Steve Young can get out of some shit and still throw a pass. Aaron Rodgers can get out some shit, still throw a pass, but end up with a broken collarbone. I mean, I don't. That's just is what it is. But real shit though, this crazy ass game between Indianapolis and Tennessee. I said that Jacoby Brissett was going to take the reins and do what he needed to do. So let me put in perspective what happened. Marcus Mariota played like Marcus Mariota does. Derrick Henry played like Derrick Henry does. However, somehow, some way, shape, or form, Jacoby Brissett only threw less than 150 yards and got 3 touchdowns. Passing. That is what happened, folks. I don't even know how that's possible. This is like he was 17 for 28 for 146, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he had less than 150 yards passing and 3 touchdowns with a QBR of 29.1. and I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't even know how that was possible. Their running back, 5 carries for 82 yards. Wilkins, he had a 50 bust off a 55-yard run on him, and the other 4 carries added up to 27 yards. Marlon Mack, he barely got anything going. He barely had 2.5 per carry. But the realest shit. I don't know how he pulled it off. He had a touchdown to T.Y., a touchdown to Ebron, a touchdown to Campbell, less than 150 yards. How did Tennessee fuck this up? That's the $1 million question. How did Tennessee fuck this up? They were probably too high off of beating the damn Cleveland Browns that they came back home into Tennessee thinking that they were the shit, and they weren't. Oops, my bad. But shout out to the Indianapolis Colts. You know, things have been rough since the parting of Andrew Luck. But Brissett is stepping in just fine. I mean, if the man can score 3 touchdowns in less than 150 yards passing, I think the Colts are going to still be in a good place. I haven't said that the Colts were going to be in a good place after this. I didn't think they were going to do bad, but I still thought they were going to be a team. I thought Brissett was going to be all right. And on to the next game. Well, we talked about New England, Miami, so we can leave that. We can just shimmy on that one. Buffalo and the New York Giants. I have a wonderful buddy of mine named Irfan, who is a huge, huge Giants fan. He had to witness his team get dominated by the Buffalo Bills. That is something that I can't even do. We had to witness this. We had to witness Josh Allen go for 253 yards. And 21 yards rushing. Not really much, but Frank Gore, we had a Frank Gore sighting. Frank the Tank, baby. 19 carries, 68 yards. He had a touchdown. Saquon Barkley averaging 5 yards a carry. All right, hold on. We need to talk about this for a second, y'all. Because I'm pretty sure that everybody's heard the news. I see your comment, Brian. I'm going to get to that one, your top peoples in a minute. But I'm pretty sure that everybody heard the news that Eli Manning got benched as of today. or probably yesterday. I don't fucking know. Time is irrelevant to me. But we had to witness. We found out that Eli Manning got benched and Daniel Jones is coming in to start. New York Giants are 0-2. I can't name a receiver on their team. I can't. If anybody knows any Giants receivers, like personally, let me know. I can even tell you that Cole Beasley is on the Buffalo Bills. I can't tell you who was a receiver on the New York Football Giants. The only stars on that team are Eli Manning and Saquon Barkley. There's no more Eli Manning. He's on the bench. I'm not forgiving Eli Manning for this. Let me tell you what the problem is, though. Saquon Barkley had 18 carries for 107 yards. The law of averages states that means that he was averaging 6 yards a carry. That's the law of averages. Well, I'm sorry, 6.5 yards a carry, right? Yeah, exactly. Odell, he gone. He is. He's gone. Sterling Shepard's out too. So I remember Sterling Shepard. I remembered him. He ain't there no more. So, I mean, he's out. He's out injured. He's just gone. So he threw the ball to Fowler 10 times. He caught it 5. He threw the ball to Ingrams 8 times. He caught it 6. I mean, outside of Fowler, he got the ball to where he needed it to get. The problem that I have with the New York Giants is claiming that Eli Manning is the problem, when yet Saquon Barkley is the most dominant running back in the NFL. And I'm going to say it again. Saquon Barkley is the most dominant running back in the NFL. And instead of strapping the rocket to his ass and letting him run the ball, because it takes like 5 or 6 people to bring him down, if you saw that he got 18 carries, he was averaging half a first down every time he touched the ball, guess what the fuck you do? You keep running the goddamn football. Dalvin Cook had almost 30 carries in the game against the Vikings, and he had still 150 yards, which means that the 5 yards per carry still would have averaged out. I would have been running Saquon Barkley on 2nd and 7, run the damn ball. 3rd and 10, fuck it, run the damn ball. You know what I'm saying? If you're bold enough and you have Saquon Barkley, guess what the fuck you do? You run the damn ball. But instead, they let Eli Manning pass at about 40. They ran 46 passing plays. 45 of those passing plays, he actually got the ball out, and one attempt he got sacked. So protection is not even an issue anymore. It's the fact that nobody is scared of any receiver that is on the New York Giants. The only person that they are scared of is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley dominated. Give the man the damn football. Quit. We can't be blaming Eli Manning for the shit. And watch. Let me tell you, and you mark my words when I say this, because I want you to take stats. Mark my words that when Daniel Jones starts this game, Saquon Barkley is going to go. Carries are going to go up by another half set of what he did. So he did 18 carries in this game. I say he's going to do 20. He's going to do 27, 25 to 27 carries in this game. I almost guarantee it. They're probably going to run a total of about 35 running plays. Mix it up. Give the other 2 running backs some time. But I promise you that. Look it up. I guarantee you that that's going to happen. And then they're going to be like, oh, and the ball's going to be less in Daniel Jones' hands, because that's what it's supposed to be. When you start a rookie quarterback, you don't have him out there gunslinging like he's Brett Favre. Check me. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I guarantee you, when you look at the stats, the man is going to, Barkley's going to run more. Jones is going to pass less. And the Giants are going to end up with a W. It's going to be the recipe for success. Well, except for the fact that the Giants can't stop. They don't have a pass rush. And they can't stop the pass. I mean, if they can figure that part out, yeah, they'd probably be dominant. But making Eli Manning the scapegoat for this bullshit is preposterous. They shouldn't be running 45 passing plays when you have the most dominant running back in football. You don't. You Brian, I know you watch. You don't. You remember? Do you think if your best singer I'll put it in your terms. What has Journey done since the old lead singer been out? If you could put that lead singer back in Journey again, you do it, right? You just sing the fucking shit out of his ass. You keep fucking singing till you can't sing no more. These dudes, I don't know what the hell these dudes are. The Giants are a trash organization anyway, so it don't even fucking matter. I'm looking at me. I should be praising the Buffalo Bills for this win, but the reality is that the Giants organization screwed this one up big time. And two things before I go on to the next game. Yes, only 2 games in, but the top 4 are Pats, Chiefs, Browns, and Cowboys. Cowboys is an interesting one. I did say that if Zeke and Dak play together, there's probably not a better quarterback running back duo in the NFL between Zeke and Dak. They need to be paying both those men. They need to pay everybody a shitload of money. Just Jerry Jones needs to back up the Brinks truck. And yes, like you said, Odell Wade, yeah, he's gone. He's gone, y'all. He's just gone. It's just what it is. So let's talk about the next game on deck. Seattle and Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt. What was I going to say? Oh, sorry. I zoned out for a minute. So Ben Roethlisberger hurts his elbow. He's out for the season. That's all you really need to know, because you probably could figure out the outcome of the game once that happened. Although Mason Rudolph almost led them on a comeback. But he was 12 of 19, 112 yards, played the short field. James Conner, 11 carries, 33 yards. That was trash. Rashard Penny played well for Seattle. Russell Wilson doing Russell Wilson things, 300 yards passing. Very accurate, 29 to 35. Tyler Lockett, 10 catches, 79. It was a really good Seattle game. But as we know, that was overshadowed by the fact that Ben Roethlisberger is out for the season. Apparently, he had a hurt elbow as it was in training camp. And that's why you saw him in that New England game, was like, I'm going to just throw it to somebody. Yay. And that's what happened with that. Sorry if I made fun of the mentally disabled. I don't want to make fun of the mentally disabled, but I guess he's the armingly disabled, because that's what it was. He went into the season with a disabled arm trying to play football. But that's another story altogether, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even fucking know. But I don't know, why would you even put your team in a position to where you're like, oh, I'm going to play with this fucked up ass arm and see if I can win. Oh, God. Fucking shit. I don't know. Arnel Pineda had major success without Journey since joining the group. However, I agree. They haven't had a song on the radio since Steve Perry. Thank you. That's the point I'm trying to make. Steve Perry practically destroyed his voice because Journey needed him. I mean, and he even did some solo shit. But still, I mean, I never said that Arnel Pineda wasn't good. I think he was actually pretty great. It's probably as close to that voice as you're going to get. But it's nothing. It's nothing like Steve Perry. But back to the situation at hand. So now Pittsburgh had to trade for a backup quarterback. That's sad that the free agent pool is so lacking depth, except for some guy with an afro that wears number 7 that used to play for the San Francisco 49ers, who I will talk about in a second. But yeah, they had to trade a lineman or some shit, or like a late ass draft pick for a backup quarterback to back up Mason Rudolph this year. I don't know how that's going to work. They protected Ben fairly well, so I think Mason Rudolph is going to be nice and protected. That's not the problem I worry about. I just don't know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do shit this year. They traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Miami Dolphins after the Miami Dolphins team practically went on strike. It's called a fuck this shit strike. They see the shit around them and they're like, fuck this shit. Yes, for those that are not in the know, the Miami Dolphins are tanking. Tanking, ladies and gentlemen. T-A-N-King. But shout out to Seattle. Seattle out there doing Seattle things. Then you got Dallas and Washington. Remember I said that we'd finally talk about Dallas in a minute? Well, we're here. Dak Prescott, he had 69 yards rushing. He had 269? 269 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Case Keenum put up numbers. This is the thing that always tripped me out about Case Keenum, though, y'all. I don't know. Case Keenum will put up some stats sometimes, and he will not, fuck up at all. Case Keenum can easily get you 270 a game. 270 off of 60%, 70% passing. And somehow, some way, this team would still lose this game. That happened in Minnesota. Those 3 losses that they had that season, all 3 of those were some of Case Keenum's best games. And somehow, some way, they'd fuck up and lose it for him. That's the situation now. Case Keenum is performing his ass off. The reason that Washington is losing is not because of Case Keenum. I really need to stress that. Everybody's like, oh, we got to bring in Haskins. No, don't get the kid killed. Because he's not the reason why they're losing. They're losing because outside of Vernon Davis, they don't have anybody that could just take over the fucking game. And on top of that, they're not generating any fumbles. They're not generating turnovers. I think they picked off Dak once in this game, and that was it. But not trying to generate turnovers. In fact, the Dallas Cowboys as a team had more people that had more tackles than the Washington Redskins. How does that work, y'all? How does that work? If I gave you the stats of the Cowboys and I gave you the stats of the Redskins, if I broke them down rooter to the tutor, you'd probably think the Redskins should have won that game. But by barely, but somehow the Cowboys won by 10. So it made it even more impressive that the Cowboys did what they did to win. And I know I shit on Cowboys fans because some of y'all are some old sensitive fuddy-duddies, right? I told you I'm tired of this we them boys shit. Because only one of us, between Niners fans and Cowboys fans, has been to the Super Bowl within the last 10 years. And to be clear, only one of us has been in the Super Bowl. Has been in the playoffs, successfully in the playoffs, getting farther enough in the last 20 years. I'm just saying. In fact, the Jaguars are more successful in the playoffs than the Cowboys. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not trying to get banned again. I'm not trying to piss off any more of you Cowboys fans, all you old sensitive asses. But I'm just saying. I'm just really saying that the Cowboys, they're not great. Okay, they're good. Dak and Zeke are great. But they let Case Keenum almost drop 300 on them real easy. Yes, that's right. I said fuddy-duddy. You goddamn right I said fuddy-duddy, Brian. You don't have to bring that shit back for 2019. That's my shit. I didn't invent it, but I sure as hell gonna keep using it like I fucking did. Trust me, I'm not drunk. There ain't no alcohol in my fucking coffee. You know why? Because it's fucking coffee. I need some Irish liquor for that shit, and I ain't got none of that. Niggas is broke these days. But in any case, Dallas is all right. But they haven't showed anything to impress me to say that Dallas is like a dominant team. I would say, what do you say? He said, Pats, Chiefs, Browns, and Cowboys. I will take your Cowboys out and put the Seahawks in. I think that the Seahawks are more dominant than the Cowboys. And if the trade rumors are true, then Seattle's going to get more dominant because they're trying to get Jalen Ramsey over from Jacksonville. If that's the case. Jerry Jones wants him, but the problem is that he got to pay Dak. Can't afford him. Or apparently he wants to be apparently the Chiefs want him, but they got to eventually pay Mahomes. And your boy Jalen Ramsey won a long-ass term deal with a team that's going to be successful. And right now, the NFC is stacked with teams that can be successful that are missing people like Jalen Ramsey. I wouldn't want to be let me break this down for you. I wouldn't want to be in the AFC where regardless of what you do, you still have to deal with the New England Patriots. I'm just being 100. Jalen Ramsey has had to deal with that situation already. They remember 2 years ago, that's exactly who they played when they got their asses bounced up out the playoffs. They got bounced out by New England. And Jalen Ramsey does not want that smoke. He doesn't. You think that all right, let's really put this in perspective. If he has to play New England, they got to deal with AB. If you can't deal with AB, then you got to deal with Edelman. Then you got to deal with Dorsett. Then you got to deal with, I forget who the other fucking receiver is. No, you don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke, bro. But at either rate, we shout out to Dallas. They're undefeated, but I don't think for very long. They got a rough schedule ahead of them. So now we got Baltimore versus Arizona. Baltimore and Arizona. It was in Baltimore. So essentially the first home game of the season. It was the Lamar Jackson show. And he show as hell delivered. But Kyler Murray wasn't without his antics as well. Both men went over 250 yards passing. Lamar Jackson went 24-37 for 272, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Kyler Murray went 25 for 40, 349 yards, but didn't Nag get 1 touchdown, nor Nag get 1 interception. David Johnson, 7 carries, 14 yards. They completely shut down the running game. That shit was shit bricked. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson had 16 carries for 120 yards. Mark Ingram had 13 carries for 47 yards. So Lamar Jackson is the running back and the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. That's essentially the conclusion that I came up with, because if you allow your fucking quarterback to go for 120 yards off of 16 carries, and still be able to drop over 250 passing, your defense is trash, bro. It's trash. I'm sorry. Antonio Brown's cousin, Hollywood Brown. It's funny, Hollywood Brown. 8 catches, 86 yards. Nigga stole my name. I'm going to sue for copyright infringement. There's only one Hollywood that was after the original Hollywood, which was actually after another original Hollywood. And I'm Hollywood J. Black. Don't be taking my shit. I see you, Hollywood Brown. I'm coming for that ass. I'm coming. Hey. Coming for that ass. But in this whole game in itself, the Baltimore looked good. Kyler Murray looked all right until they had to get into the red zone, and then he looked like shit. And they didn't run the ball. And they couldn't stop Lamar Jackson. And it's going to be a long season for Carolina. Arizona. It's going to be a long season for Arizona, bro. Sorry. Next up, Jacksonville versus Houston. So everybody knows by now, I think I talked about it, that Jalen Ramsey asked for a trade, which is fine. No big deal. But he didn't the reason why he asked for the trade has to do with this exact game. Coach Doug Marrone and your boy Jalen Ramsey got into a fight, verbal fight, blah, 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 spit, spat, whatever. And then next thing you know, Jalen Ramsey wants off the team. Hey, I'll tell you something. I ain't mad at him. If you see the way that Doug Marrone actually came at old boy, I'm surprised that he didn't get punched in the fucking face. Could you imagine that fine, how that would have been, though? Oh, yeah, that would have been fun. But Doug Marrone started the confrontation. Should have got his ass bitch slapped for even coming across a player and disrespecting him the way he did. It's not about players being entitled or anything like that. It's about respect. If players are hot, instead of you bitching, whining, and moaning, maybe we should figure out why they're mad and see what we can do to fix it. See, nobody wants to do that. That's the crazy part, that nobody wants to do that shit. But the big story here, outside of that, is Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew, a former Washington State University prodigy who won a bowl game in his only year at Washington State University. He came in for an injured Nick Foles who broke his clavicle. He went 23 of 33 for 213, had a touchdown, no pick. He was fairly efficient. Deshaun Watson, on the other hand, he went 16 of 29, 159, no touchdowns, no picks. In fact, the only touchdown came from a running Deshaun Watson. They almost lost this game. Let's just call a spade a spade. They really almost lost this game, and I couldn't even tell you how they lost this game because I don't even pay attention to the fucking Jaguars, to be dead honest. But I saw a little bit of the highlights, I know Carlos Hyde got the fuck off, though. That was an interesting thing. Carlos Hyde is having a career year down in Houston, and it's only been 2 games. So let's see how that turns out. But I think that's going to be Houston's only saving grace. I really do. I think Houston's only saving grace is going to be that. So who knows? So next game on deck, Kansas City, Oakland. It went about as well as you possibly could think. I was surprised, though, that the Kansas City defense actually stepped up to Oakland. I was really surprised about that because if everybody remembers the 2 games last year, Oakland actually got in that ass and they almost stole one. Actually, no, they did steal one last year. That was one of those what the fuck games last year, matter of fact, if I remember correctly. But the defense actually stepped up. Mahomes did Mahomes things. 30 of 44 for 443 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Derek Carr went 23 for 38, 198, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But there was an offensive pass interference call that really shouldn't even been a call at all. And they got screwed. No, Brian. Let's get it right. Mahomes and the Chiefs are playing NFL blitz while everybody else is playing NFL football. You know them passes in blitz was ridiculous. Sideways, behind the back, other shit. That's exactly what's going down there. I love the NFL blitz. I guess that's what it kind of reminds me of. They're playing a straight arcade NFL blitz mode. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to your boys. Shout out to Kansas City. There's not really much for this game that Patrick Mahomes, because I already talked about Patrick Mahomes. I said straight out that Patrick Mahomes is the singular greatest arm talent the NFL has ever seen in its past, present, and future. I will stand behind that statement, and he's obviously proving it. Quarterback-wise, he still has a long way to go. He's still young. That's why I can't dub him the GOAT. But I will say as arm talent-wise, there's nobody better. And it's point blank, period. It's a way to say, okay, hold on. That's the next thing. Probably somebody's going to run on the floor. We're going to see a player hit somebody with an RKO. It's going to be hilarious. Randy Orton's going to prove. I'm happy with that. I am really, really happy with that. Next game on deck. The Bears and the Broncos. This was an interesting game. And it was interesting not for what happened, but what didn't happen. What didn't happen is that Denver couldn't get the ball. They put the ball on the ground and they tried running with the football, but it didn't work. That's essentially just what it was. It just didn't work. Mitch Trubisky did Mitch Trubisky things. 16 of 27 for 120. That's Mitch Trubisky things. The running, there was no really much running shit. That didn't really mean much. This was literally, this was an ugly defensive game that I expected from a Chicago-Denver game. Joe Flacco still trying to get his footing in there. I don't even know who's running the offense down there, but they're not using Joe Flacco correctly. They had no choice but to run pass the football. They ran it 24 times. They passed 52. They had 52 passing plays in that game. 52. And they still couldn't even get shit going. Flacco had a touchdown to pick, and that's just what it was. I mean, shout out to the Bears. It's not really much. See, I wish I had more to say about some of these games. Some of these games just were what they were. The Rams' drubbing of the New Orleans Saints was something that I did not see coming. Mainly because I did not expect your boy Drew Brees to get hurt. He's hurt. That's another significant quarterback injury, and he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Bridgewater came in. He did all right, 17 of 30, 165, which means to me that every time he threw the ball, he barely even got 10 yards. That's scary. You don't want that as a quarterback. If a quarterback has 30 completions, that means he needs to have at least 30 yards. 300 yards. If not, then it's all for naught. Jared Goff went 19 of 28, 283, doing Jared Goff things. Cooper Kupp is back putting up stats. Cooper Kupp. Oh, dude, hell yes, we're going to cover the XFL, bro. Because I'm probably going to be the only place Colin Kaepernick plays, so you better believe I'm going to cover the XFL. But on a serious note, I'll cover it. I promise you. Cooper Kupp, the white boy that probably makes all white boys proud. Probably the second greatest white wide receiver right now in the NFL, next to Julian Edelman. He's back, y'all. Cooper Kupp is back. I like the dude. He's fast as fuck. He's got hands of nice pillows. You know, not those regular pillows too, but those nice satin pillows that when you throw something in there, it doesn't bounce off. It just goes poof and then cuddles it. And then gently strokes it a little bit. And then he runs for fucking touchdowns. That's what Cooper Kupp does, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm glad that he's back. I know that he had that knee injury, but I'm sure as hell happy that he's fucking back. Yo. But this drubbing of the Saints, man, I did not expect that at all. The Saints got robbed on another call, by the way, in this game too. They just getting robbed. The Saints, and every time the Saints and the Rams play, people are getting robbed. The Saints are going to get robbed, Joe. I couldn't even tell you what it is, to be dead honest. Past that, it wasn't much. It was just another drubbing. No thing. But the big news is that Drew Brees. So Teddy Bridgewater is going to do his best Drew Brees impression. If that doesn't work, yikes. It's going to be a long season for the Saints. Then we have Philly and Atlanta. Philly thought they had this one in the bag. They thought it was straight. Everybody thought everything was hunky-dory, that Philadelphia was going to walk out with this game with a win. Still won in Atlanta. Oh, we good. Oh, yeah, we good. Until Julio effing Jones catches the last-minute touchdown. Atlanta cruises on to victory, and we're out. The two things I got to take away from this game, as usual, the lack of passing. Carson Wentz, not lack of passing, lack of running the football. Philly doesn't have a running game, apparently. That's just not existent. Carson Wentz went 25 for 43 for 231. One touchdown, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Matt Ryan went 27 to 43 for 320 yards, but that Philly defense picked them off 3 times like it was nothing. Pick up. And somehow Atlanta steals this win. I don't know. I start to ask myself at this point, if you're an Eagles fan, how much money do you pay to see if you can go back in time and see if you can get Nick Foles to come back and play for your team? And there's your tea on that one. And then last but not least, I know Brian's been itching at the bit for this one. The Cleveland Browns stomp out the New York Jets 23-3. Now, don't act like y'all didn't kill a quarterback and a half in the process of this game. Trevor Siemian died. We all know that your boy has mono, so he can't come out and hug and kiss nobody. He's out. Baker Mayfield doing Baker Mayfield things, 19-35. I said Breeze is out for the next 6 weeks, bro. Yes. I'm sorry. I thought Brian was the one that asked the question. It was Lady Di. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, Di, you see this eye right here? This eye is pointed towards the right side of my screen. This eye acts kind of funky. You see? You can go like that. So what happens is that when it does that, I can't see shit. So when I saw it, I'm like, did Brian really ask me about that? He should have known. My bad. I screwed up. So, but yes, Drew Brees is out. If you have him on your fantasy team, he's going to be out for at least 6 weeks, 6 to 8. So here's your fantasy pickup. You got 2 options at this point: Jimmy Garoppolo, who's still a huge free agent out there, or your boy Gardner Minshew from Jacksonville. Those are your 2. I'm giving you easy picks right here. Easy peasy fantasy draft things to replace Drew Brees with for the short term. But Cleveland is doing their thing. They look good. I like it. Odell Beckham got the fuck off. 16 catches. 6 catches, 161 yards and a touchdown. Had a 89-yard touchdown. Odell Beckham looking good. Once this offense gets on all cylinders, the shit is going to be ridiculous. This is training camp right now. Because you got to keep in mind, these are the last game was the first time they've all been on the field at the same time. This whole entire Cleveland Browns offense. As this ball keeps rolling, Cleveland's going to get more and more dangerous, and I love it. It's going to take a minute. There's going to be some shortcomings. Baker Mayfield's got to get used to having a good, really good receiver out there, but he's starting to get a feel for it. And you know who's going to benefit the most from this? Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb. They're going to benefit from this real good, because if Odell Beckham is being double covered and triple covered, you got to figure out something. Also, you got your boy David Njoku. He's going to eventually one day or something get a pass, because I'm surprised they've barely been able to use him, but whatever. It's cool. It is what it is. So those are the games. This isn't just about the games. I told you this was all the way Wednesday. We got to talk about the quarterback injuries real quick before we start going into some deeper shit. We got Roethlisberger out. We got, I think the Jets are down to their training camp quarterback, right? Drew Brees is out for a few weeks. He's out for about 6 to 8. Carson Wentz is banged up, as usual. At some point, we have to start considering this next thing I'm about to tell you, which is, yes, I know Lady Di's watching this. She's like, this is a sin-free show, so obviously Colin Kaepernick's name has to come up. Yes, it does. So there's a little bit of a serious, fun conversation that I'm going to have with the people about the Colin Kaepernick. Now, is the Colin Kaepernick saga over? And now this, when I say this is not saying that he's going to get signed to a team. In fact, it's the opposite. Is his lack of a signing meaning that the whole Colin Kaepernick saga is over? If anybody don't know, it was reported that Colin Kaepernick's agent has reached out to all 32 teams in the NFL. They're letting him know his client has expressed interest in playing even a backup role. Ladies, he's like, was waiting for it. Yeah, I know. I mean, he said his agent called up, was like, my clients would be interested in being a backup. We see all these injuries going on. You might want to have an insurance policy. And then I don't know. I think the Colin Kaepernick saga in its entirety is done. In the sense of that he's not going to get signed. He's not going to get picked up by another team. And so his name will live on in infamy as the man that started the movement. The man that made everybody question what they thought as an American and as a football fan. Now, not realizing that, people took a lot of different stances when it came to Colin Kaepernick, and I understand. I know how it can be frustrating and you kind of start questioning this shit, right? But you had to ask yourself, without this Colin Kaepernick saga, where would we be? I think the obvious thing that I think that if the Colin Kaepernick saga had not happened, I honestly think that Donald Trump would not be president. I think that in 2016 happened, Donald Trump really based part of his campaign off of people kneeling and disrespecting the flag and stuff. He spoke to the people that probably felt bad that way. So we throw that into the list. If Colin Kaepernick had not kneeled, he probably would still be on the team. He actually probably would have been playing for the Broncos, probably getting killed. Probably playing for the Buffalo Bills. Who fucking knows? But I know he'd still be playing. But where are we at? Where are we at now? We brought awareness to the situation. We brought more body cams to police. We've been made aware of police violence. We've made organizations accountable for their actions, donations, all that shit. So I don't feel bad in saying that Colin Kaepernick may not play in the NFL again. Who knows? I could be wrong. He could get a call tomorrow and be like, you know what? The Jets desperately need you because there's no more free agent quarterbacks. At the end of the day, You look at it like this: the legacy that Colin Kaepernick left for him is not a bad one, not by any stretch of the word, because it made you think. It made you change everything that you ever thought about where your allegiances lie and how you feel about football players and how you feel about police brutality and all that shit. So in all of that, I thank Colin Kaepernick for doing that. I know people are going to get mad that I said this. It is what it is. At the end of the day, his legacy lives on as the man that changed everything. And he sacrificed everything for it. So there it is. And I think that it's a wrap for the Colin Kaepernick saga. There's nothing else unless 1 in a million chance he gets signed by a team. I think it's a wrap, but I think it's fine that it's a wrap. I think that's something that it should be dead and it's done. So now we got a Thursday night football game coming up. As we all know, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the what is it? Did I say Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is it the Buccaneers? No, Titans. Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, that's going to be interesting, man. I know Manziel's interested, and Manziel's actually stay clean. But that should be interesting. Kaepernick, let's see if Vince McMahon actually wants to pull that trigger. He might. If Kaepernick plays in the XFL, I think he, just like Manziel, but the skill set's a little bit different. Kaepernick got legs. He's got legs for days. I think Manziel's a better arm talent, but Kaepernick is a better overall talent. But I think that you'd be right. They'll be the most high-profile signings in the XFL if that were to actually happen. So Thursday night game, Tennessee and Jacksonville. I'm pretty sure that Big Sin took Tennessee, if I remember correctly. I'm taking Jacksonville in that game. I want to see how that one goes. So should be an interesting game with the whole Jalen Ramsey thing going on and shit like that. It should also be interesting because Jalen Ramsey came out and said that he wasn't the one that leaked to the press that he wanted to trade, which only leaves 2 culprits. It's either Tom Coughlin, which I'm highly likely would do it because he's an old school that asshole, or Doug Marrone, who is still pissed off about that little argument and conversation that probably spilled it to the press just as being spite. Who knows? Who fucking knows? All right, so I promise you we're going to run down a few things. First things first. I haven't talked about this in a minute. College football. I know everybody knows about their top 25 and all that shit, which is all fine and dandy. The thing that tripped me out is FSU's trash. Virginia's balling. Georgia just stomping over people. Ohio State stomping all over people. It's a really good, really good college football year. Your boy Trevor Lawrence, though, and Tua, I'm really excited about part 3 of this, or part 4, actually, at this point, of Clemson, Alabama. I'm really excited because you know that that's where we're going, y'all. I still don't think that a team like Ohio State is better than an Alabama or a Clemson. Just saying. Clemson has majority of the people back. It should be fun. I like it. I say roll with it. Fuck it. Surprising teams that are on this list. Maryland is back in the top 25. UCF stomped out Stanford 45-27. I know my boy was so mad about that. I said, but dog, it's okay. You know why? You played the 2017 national champs. Everybody knows I love fucking with people when I say the 2017 national champs, because we all know they weren't really the national champs. But those that are in the joke, they know what's up. BYU beat USC. That was a fun one. Arizona State beat Michigan State. That was another fun one. Utah stomping out whoever the fuck they played. Auburn stomping out Kent. Florida almost losing to Kentucky. I was prepared to come on and just do a whole show with Florida. They was talking shit about UCF, and you can't beat Kentucky? Kentucky? Really? I'm mad that they won that game. Kentucky should have stomped their asses out. It'd been a wrap. They had the foot in the throat and they let it off. But it is what it is. Not much past that. Washington is out there stomping out people. Oklahoma stomping out people. Texas stomping out people. Boise stomping out people. That's just what it is. That's just college football doing college football things. So the big NBA news. 2 things I need to report. First things first. The USA national basketball team got stomped out of the world tournament. I can't remember by who, but it was bad. They got stomped out. After a nice little run, they kicked them boys out. So now all these stars that said, "Oh, we're not playing over the summer. We don't want to play for Team USA." Guess what? They're like, "Oh, I want to play for Team USA now. Can I get in the ball, coach? Can I play? Can I play, coach? Can I play? Please, 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 please." And that's exactly what happened. Now they're begging to be back on the fucking team. And I'm just like, really? Really? You let these niggas all here get embarrassed in China, and now you want to come back to the team? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I mean, personally, I'll be like, fuck these fools. Now I want to represent our country. Now y'all feel bad because we got our asses kicked like they said we was going to get your asses kicked, breaking in 3rd and 4th straight niggas. Man, it was bad. But they're back. Apparently, that's the first thing I need to report. The second thing I need to report is NBA related, but not NBA like live thing related. Funny I use that terminology. So NBA 2K20 came out last year, and it's perhaps the most panned sports game in history. If you actually do a Google search for NBA 2K20, the first one of the first 5 search subjects is NBA 2K20 is trash. Don't buy that game. It's so disrespectful if you buy that game for your man expecting some nookie nook. You ain't gonna get shit. Probably gonna get laughed at. You buy me that game, you sure as hell I don't even want you around. Don't buy me no NBA 2K20, that trash ass game. That's new expansions for that. Mate, my birthday's coming up. New expansion for Destiny 2, Google Stadia. Just drop it in my box. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Anyways, so we have that going. Major League Baseball, I know if Brian's still here, I know we have some Major League Baseball. We're getting close to the end of the season. I got to check where we're at because I have no idea where we're at this point. I said that once the end of the season comes, we were going to get to it. I'm hoping that Brian pops up on here. But I got to look at these standings, bro. The Yankees are still the best team in baseball. That is, let me rephrase. They're tied to be the best team in baseball because they're tied with Houston for the best record in baseball. I told you Tampa's doing Tampa things. Who else? Boston is not really in the picture. Well, they're almost there. You got Minnesota, Cleveland there, and then you have Oakland and then Houston. So we're still 6 teams in an American League. And then now you have Atlanta. The Braves are one of the best teams in the NL, right? And then we got the Dodgers who locked up best record. Then we got the St. Louis Cardinals. Then we have Milwaukee still trying to fight for a playoff spot. And Washington still trying to fight for a playoff spot too. So I don't know. That's going to be real interesting. As we get closer to it, I'm going to start spitting a little bit more game about baseball. I promise you. But I just got to get that little preview. I'm happy about NHL preseason popping off, which is something I'm glad y'all here. So me and my boy Brian and Robert, they're going to be doing a little bit of NHL correspondence. I'm going to put them on. I'm going to show them what's up. Teach them the ropes. See if they can do this thing that I do. And if they can do the thing that I do, maybe I might give them their little own show or something. You never know. Might be representing for the little hockey league people. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure y'all taken care of. My hockey people, y'all some hardcore motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure y'all taken care of. So keep a lookout for that. If they do good, we're going to put them on. You know what I mean? And what else we got? Oh, we have a Friday night show coming. The Friday night show. We're going to go over our NFL picks. Hopefully Big Sin hasn't beat nobody's ass and put him in jails. We're going to get him on the show Friday. We're going to go over our NFL picks. We're going to go over some stats. That way the podcast is ready for you Saturday morning drop. Blue coop. And you can go on listening or watching to your heart's content. So, make sure you watch Friday night around 10 p.m. Other than that, we made it to the show. Hour 15 minutes in. Y'all roll with your boy. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so make sure you check us out Friday night. You're going to see this episode on YouTube tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., as well as on the Sinful Black TV page in case you missed it. Please follow the Sinful Black TV page. It's facebook.com/Sinful Black TV. You never know. Music Mondays just might be coming back. But don't tell nobody, because I ain't trying to get dinged for copyright again. But until then, this is your boy James, a.k.a. Hollywood J Black, live in the building. And I am signing off, and we are out this bitch. Deuces.